Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. I made a lot of clips before this. I'm going to put them at the end because there's a lot of complaining. We left off on verse 13. Let's get through this. Getting the Ammonites and Amalekites to join him, Ejon came and attacked Israel and took possession of the city of Palms, also known as Jericho. The Israelites were subject to Ejon, king of Moab, for 18 years. Again, the Israelites cried out to the Lord, and he gave them a deliverer, Ehud, a left-handed man, the son of Gera the Benjaminite. The Israelites sent him with tribute to Ejon, king of Moab. Now Ehud had made a double-edged sword about a cubit long, which he strapped to his right thigh under his clothing. He presented the tribute to Ejon, king of Moab, who was a fat man. After Ehud had presented the tribute, he sent on their way those who had carried it. But on reaching the stone images near Gilgal, he himself went back to Egon and said, Your Majesty, I have a secret message for you. The king said to his attendants, Leave us, and they left. Ehud then approached him while he was sitting alone in the upper room of the palace and said, I have a message from God for you. As the king rose from his feet, Ehud reached with his left hand and drew the sword from his right thigh and plunged it into the king's belly. Even the handle sunk in after the blade and his bowels discharged. So he stabs the king in the stomach. Even the handle sinks in after the blade because he's a fat idiot. Okay, and the bowels discharged. Ehud did not pull the sword out, and the fat closed in over it. Then Ehud went out to the something. He shut the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them. After he had gone, the servants came and found the doors of the upper room locked. They said he must be relieving himself in the inner room of the palace. They waited to the point of embarrassment, but when he did not open the doors of the room, they took a key and unlocked them. Then they saw their lord fallen to the floor, dead. While they waited, Ehud got away. He passed by the stone images and escaped to Seirah. When he arrived there, he blew a trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites went down with him from the hill. The Israelites went down with him from the hills, with him leading them. Okay, so I kind of got interrupted there, but so just like when David struck down Goliath, okay, the Israelites are then charging forward. So Ehud had struck down Ejon. Okay, he stabbed him in the stomach, plunged the sword into his stomach, and the handle sinks in. And we'll get to the part where it talks about an ox goad, which is basically a large wooden pole approximately 8 feet, used in ancient agriculture to direct oxen while plowing. Okay, and so it had two kind of heads on it, right? Had a sharp metal spike on one end, had a chisel-like scraper on the other. So this is a sort of weapon that can be used for warfare. So there's a sword mentioned, and there's this ox goad mentioned. Okay. Follow me, he ordered, for the Lord has given Moab, your enemy, into your hands. So they followed him down and took possession of the fords of the Jordan that led to Moab. They allowed no one to cross over. At that time, they struck down 10,000 Moabites, all vigorous and strong. Not one escaped. That day, Moab was made subject to Israel, and the land had peace for 80 years. The last part of this chapter is about Shamgar. Okay, and of course the word Ham is scrambled into there. Ham grows. There's different things you can get from the wordplay, and there's a lot of Satanists, a lot of them are gay, trying to twist it. Okay. After Ehud came Shamgar, son of Anath, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. He too saved Israel. Now, he didn't necessarily strike them down at the same time. Okay, so if you're, waging a long campaign against a group of people. It's not that out of the ordinary for someone to strike down 600 people. But notice that they said he struck him down with an ox goad. Now, this story is figurative. We have no reason to believe this is literal. Okay? But at the same time, someone like me, if I went to combat and I fought for, say, a month, I'd probably strike down 2,000 people. Right? So we have to consider the situation. Could Shamgar with an ox goad take me on? No way, no how. You know how crazy you'd have to be to think that he could? This is before even Christ. People, the average height of people is small. They're not that healthy. They don't have shoes. They're nowhere near qualified or capable of taking on the top martial artist ever possible, which is me. But notice it goes out of its way to say that this person struck down 600 Philistines. So if such a thing took place, and it's figurative, mind you, what it's saying is that is worth noting. Put a lamp on its stand, right? And the root and offspring of David and Ehud, there's parallels between Ehud and David. So you know that the churches, mosques, and synagogues aren't doing their job. And we know that from Matthew 10. When we get to Matthew 10, we'll see the part where it says that they're supposed to proclaim from the roofs. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. So they're not doing God's work. They're not using their social media outlets. They're not using their network and their money to say that Christ is back as the top martial artist ever possible. And even if you don't know that I'm back saying this, there's so many things that give away that they're not doing God's work, right? The history of child molestation, who is like who, okay, the blaming, the Protestant Catholic blame game. It's like a left-right paradigm game. They're both corrupt political institutions and groups, right? Same with the Orthodox. They don't do God's work. They're just trying to find their life in this world. And again, when we get to Matthew 10, you'll see why they're way off from that, way off, right? They're not supposed to be afraid. They're supposed to expect to be flogged, expect to be punished, right? We see that in 2 Timothy 3:12. In fact, everyone who wants to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. And how that lines up with Matthew 10, when it says, brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and put them to death. You'll be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Okay, and the other part, going up to verse 17, it says, be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and be flogged in the local synagogues. On my account, okay, mind you. You'll be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles. But these people shrank to fit. They found their lives in the world because they loved the world. 1 John 2:15, don't love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not him. So they broke the greatest commandment by loving the world, okay, because they're evil. So those are institutions that are what? Fill in the blank. Okay, so here are some clips, and they might be sort of out of order. I figured I should put them at the end of this video. Obviously, I'm the top martial artist ever possible, and anyone who would insult me is an idiot. That's even in the martial art code. And so, because they insisted on fuming me and poisoning me and harassing me and provoking me, and they like to use things like prison gangs and the military to try to control me, to try to say, hey, don't insult them, or they'll try to pretend to be them. They'll hire them to come harass me. And, when I see them, I don't know how much they know. It's safe to say they don't know that much. And so, because of that, on the moment when I'm angry, I bring them up, and it's fair and square. I'm not afraid of anybody. These people are so afraid of me, and they're so jealous that they change my voice at times to try to make it so I seem scared. One thing you can bet your bottom dollar on, okay, is that if I made a clip that it sounded scared, okay, then I wouldn't upload that. And obviously, I'm not scared of anybody. I'm the top martial artist. Can you imagine you could kill anybody in a split second, hand-to-hand combat? Would you be scared of somebody? Imagine the one person manning up on a planet of 8 billion. Would you be scared of anybody? Especially people obeying child molesters and their allies? Think about it. For those of you who are new, that's how you show them who's in charge. Think about it. When I say these things, I'm manning up completely in the power of God. They do immature things, disgusting things to children, including their own children quite often. Well, I'm manning up. They're yoked to child molester Epstein-faced worms, including the people in the military, the police, gangs, you name it, people bodybuilding. It doesn't matter how much strength you have. You obey child molesters and their allies. What can you say? You expect someone who's actually a man to think you're a man? What can you say? Yeah, that's how you get put in your fucking place. Look, I'm smarter than you are. You're just a privileged Jewish person who was unfairly given a job to harass me. Your bosses are just rich idiots, Jew or Gentile alike. What can they say? My dad came here penniless, worked his way up to be a brain surgeon, and I'm the top martial artist. Who the hell are you compared to me? This is not rocket science. I know you're nowhere near as smart as I am, but this is not hard. Who the hell do you think you are? I know I'm the top martial artist. I've proven that. Who the hell do you think you are? Now shut your fucking mouth, you insignificant conquered cow. These people are doing this are on like Ejion's side of this debate, as described by me. They're some kind of idiots. In a sense, they're fat idiots. I don't care about how big you are. I care about your character. But quite often you see these people in the military and these other groups, and they're kind of fluffy and slow. And it's more than just, what Hegeseth's talking about, It's the typical craftsman build. Now, I wouldn't point this out if, and so often at least, if they didn't interrupt my videos so much. When they do that, I put them in their craftsman place. Right now, the military and the police, everyone like them, bodybuilders, they're put in their place. People in prison gangs, put in their fucking place. There's nothing they can say. And they kill me, so what? I had the heart to point it out. Why, you're serving child molesters. Put in their place. There's nothing they can say. Beneath my feet. Why, they're hellbound. Scared to man up. I'm the white man. He's raping a kid and I'm scared. It's some bitch ass shit.